With this technique, I'm using a piece of ribbon that came off of a decoration, and it just has really wide weave in it, and it's a mesh. It's a stiff mesh. So I'm just going to put it down on my paper like this and use it like a stencil. I mixed up my paint and made it in the well so that there's a bunch of it. And then I'm just dipping my sponge in it, just tapping it. And then I hold this down. I don't want it to move. And then I will tap this and see what happens. What if I wanted to go over here and just pick up a pure color on my sponge and then tap it on top of that? What would happen then? Now I had a little bit of extra water on that at that point. That might make it interesting. Things happen that way. Okay, let's see what happens. Voila. You have a very interesting texture that you can use. Another one bites the dust. Okay, this technique is where you use cheesecloth. If you'll notice, the cheesecloth has lots of big holes in it caused by the loose weaving of the cloth. And that makes an interesting pattern on your paper. Now you can apply it several ways, but we're going to try it one way. We're just going to take a piece of the cheesecloth just like this. And now I've got a piece of foam board. You can put it on saran wrap, anything plastic, anything that will resist, that won't soak in your water, just so you have a backing. And then I'm going to pick up some watercolor, and I'm going to stain this with quite a bit of the watercolor. And put a little water in with it. So it's going to make the cloth itself wet. Now, while the cloth is still wet, I'm going to pick it up off this. And it's kind of pretty, but we're not going to use that. And here's just your piece of paper. It could be watercolor paper or just regular paper. Now notice within the little things that the weave is fairly empty of water. You want it to be fairly empty so you can see the actual string. And then you're going to lay it down. And you're going to want to make sure it gets printed well. So one way to do that would be to put some plastic over it so that you don't get it all over your hands, and then pat it. Now take your hair dryer, or just let it sit there until it dries by itself, natural, or take your hair dryer and dry it. Once you feel like it's dry, then you just pull it up and let's see what happens. And you have your pattern. And it makes a very nice texture. Enjoy. Try it out. Now I'm going to cut this out and put it in my sketchbook, so I'll have a sample of it.